everybody, what's up? It's me, Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl. As you can tell, I am obviously back home in this mess that I call my bedroom. I am clearly not in Florida where I should be right now. Forgive the rough look. I just got back from a bike ride a little bit ago, was not going to put on makeup, and then I look rough, so I put on some makeup. Unfortunately, I made it way too fancy, so I look like a flippin' clown, so please forgive me. I have not worn makeup in over a month, so that is also part of the reason. Plus, I got some new makeup and I'm playing around with it, so I don't like this. I look very much like a clown. I'm so sad. Anyway, as I said, you guys clearly have noticed I am not in Florida. I am back in my bedroom. Also, I am sick, so I got COVID. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, I promised to post this vlog this week where I talked about why I chose to self-term from the Disney College program a whole lot earlier than I was meant to. So as you guys know, if you watch my channel, if you follow me on Instagram, I was accepted into the Disney College program way back in October of 2021. I was really excited to be accepted. I will say this. I loved DCP. I enjoyed my time down there immensely. It was nothing that Disney did. It was no fault of Disney. It was simply me and my dumb issues that made me come home early. So I was accepted in October. I went down. I left Michigan April 21st. I arrived in Florida on April 23rd, and I checked in on April 25th. And I just got home last Sunday. So I've been home for over a week at this point. So basically, I ended up having to self-term for my mental health. I thought I was ready to do this. I thought I was mentally prepared. I have all this experience. I am in my 30s. I'm an adult. I have done stuff like this before. I thought I was ready. I might have been ready physically. I might have been ready emotionally to do this. I was not ready mentally to do this. And partly, and like I said, it was my own dumb fault because when you apply for a job, they do ask you if you would like to disclose if you have any medical reasons that you might need accommodations. And I have never put down on any application I have done that yes, I do have something that could require me to have accommodations at some point, in because of my anxiety, which at this point I believe is not just something I have, but also related to another issue I have. I have a hearing disorder. At this point, we think it's called hyperplasia. Basically, I have sensitive hearing where certain sounds will actually make me feel like I am in pain. I'm not actually in pain. I feel like I am in pain, and I want to get away from the source that's causing me pain. And for example, fireworks. I can't be around fireworks when they're going off. I have to be like 6 miles or further away. And it will cause me to have a panic attack. So that I did not disclose any of that to Disney when I filled out my paperwork. I have never disclosed any of that to an employer. And in the case of working at Disney, that kind of came back to bite me in the butt. My role was merchandise in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom. And for those of you who went, wait a minute, didn't just a minute ago you said you can't be near fireworks when they're going off? Magic Kingdom does fireworks every single night. And as a DCPer, as a CP, a college program participant, I would have been doing closing almost every single shift at Magic Kingdom, which meant I would have been around the fireworks every single night they were going off. My first closing shift, I went to talk to my trainer and coordinator and leader and explain that this was not something I could handle. They were great. They actually wanted to test me to see what had happened, and I went, that's not a great idea. And I explained the reason why I don't disclose my anxiety or my hearing disorder. The reason I don't disclose it is I don't have any proof for either the anxiety or the hearing disorder. And the reason for this is because I was so young. So the hearing disorder is not something I was born with. My family and I at this point have pinpointed the reason why I have this hearing disorder, which is what we're thinking is something called hyperplasia. I don't think that's how you say it. But when I looked up what causes sensitive hearing in Google to try to figure out what was wrong with me, that's what popped up. So I was a perfectly normal kid until I was a year old. And 4th of July 1989, when I was 1 year old, my aunt, ironically enough, the same aunt who drove me down to Florida and brought me back to Indiana so my mom could get me, she and I were in a rollover car accident when I was a year old. Was not my aunt's fault. A driver, we were coming around a curve. A driver was going too fast. He came into our lane, and my aunt very reasonably thought to swerve out of the way. However, she swerved with too much speed. The car hit, the tires hit the gravel on the shoulder of the road, and proceeded to flip and roll over into a ditch. Safety laws being what they were in 1989, my car seat was not secure in any way, shape, or form. I actually fell out of my car seat, and we think at some point I must have hit my head because one of the causes behind my hearing disorder, what we think is my hearing disorder, is actually head injury and also prolonged exposure to loud noises. My aunt got out. They had to use the jaws of life to get my aunt out of her car, and there were sirens and a loud noise. So we think the combination of me hitting my head at some point during that incident and then all the noise did contribute to what I have today in terms of my hearing. Also, it's not exactly a hearing disorder the way people think of a hearing disorder. I actually have perfectly fine hearing. It's very sensitive, and I can actually hear things better than other people. It's why I can hear my cell phone when I'm using the bathroom. It's very weird. Um, and then a few years later, my pediatrician told my parents he was worried that I had anxiety, which actually anxiety can be a result of this as well. But the thing is my health care has always been provided through the state. And for those of you who have health care like me, you know that health care is not the best when you need to get tests done. So I have never been officially diagnosed with anxiety or this disorder because my health care does not necessarily cover the cost of those tests. And also for the hearing, I have to see an ENT, an ears, nose, throat doctor, which for that I had to have a referral from a different doctor, which is very difficult to get with state insurance. I actually told my parents the closest place I could find that I could go see an ENT is in Mount Pleasant, and even then I would need a referral, and that's not something I can easily get. So that is one of the reasons why I never tell employers I have anxiety or I have this, because most of the time they will ask for proof, very reasonably so, and I don't have that proof because of circumstances beyond my control. I was young when I was when this cropped up. My parents very reasonably thought that these were issues that would go away over time, and unfortunately they have not. Um, but because of the the insurance issues, my age, money, I never got tested. And at this point, at 34 years old, it's very much like, what's the point in getting tested? I know I have these issues. I know I have anxiety. I know I have this hearing issue. I have this disorder. I know about it. So I don't ever see the need to go get tested at this point. And because I've lived with it my entire life, in many ways, I don't actually think of it as an issue. But going to Disney actually proved that, oh yes, what is not an issue at home here in Michigan, because I don't have to put up with daily exposure to loud noises, like lots of screaming, lots of yelling, lots of music, lots of explosions, lots of stuff like that. I don't have to deal with that here. I have to deal with it in Florida. So that kind of like really bombarded me and forced me into a place that was not healthy for me mentally. And y'all, it broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart and devastated me when I was down there, because I would go out and have a ton of fun. I would go to Disney Springs. I went to all four parks while I was there. You know, that was my dream, to go to Disney World. You know, I was living a dream, and I was like, it was so much fun. I was having fun. But then I would get by myself. I'd be away from like the work, from my job or the parks or whatever, and I would be, and all of a sudden everything would come crashing down on me. All the stress, all the noise, everything, and it just got to be too much. I think like the week after I got there, I told my brother I was starting to hate myself because I wanted to enjoy this. You know, I was having fun, but then I'd be by myself and it'd be like, I just can't do this. Like all this doubt seeped in. And I actually was starting to second guess myself before even leaving about doing this, but I paid the money and I wanted to do it with all my heart. My dad actually told me that he and my mom did not want me to do this and had thought about telling me no, but they knew I would get really, really upset because this was a dream. And so they decided to go ahead and let me do it. And now I just realized I wasn't ready mentally to go do this, which is kind of, it hurts me to say that I wasn't ready mentally. And I have called myself a coward, a quitter. And what really hurts is this was playing out on my social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, where I was talking about what a hard time I was having mentally. My mental health was suffering, and I just really wanted to go home to recuperate, and stop and think for a minute. And I had all these relatives, cousins, aunts, and uncle, and they mostly cousins, and they were telling me that I needed to stay. They wanted me to stay. Originally, my parents and I had talked about it, and we decided that I was actually going to cut my time short anyway and come home in August and be there for 4 months instead of almost 6. And then when I texted my brother and told him I was starting to hate myself, my mom's like, they were like, we're going to find a way to get you home early. So that's why I came home last week. Um, but I had aunts and cousins that were saying, including the aunt who took me down, who were like, "You need to stay. You're fine. You're just homesick. It's all this." And some of these people know I have these issues. Like the aunt, like I said, my one aunt, the aunt who took me down, and the aunt who told me I needed to stay. She was in the car accident with me, so she knew I had this for years. And yet she was telling me there's nothing wrong, you could stay. I mean, my leaders and my trainers and my coordinators, they tried really hard to get me to stay. They offered to move me, but again, it wasn't something I felt was right at the time. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to reevaluate to see what it is I could do. And let me put it this way. As much hate and disappointment I was getting from my cousins, nobody was more disappointed in me than myself. I have been so mad at myself. I'm gonna cry. I have been so disappointed in myself for not being stronger, for not taking up on the offer. Like now that I'm home, I'm like, I just threw away an amazing opportunity because I wasn't strong enough mentally, and I know I needed to step back and take care of my mental health in order for me to be a better person, in order for me to be overall healthy. Like I am healthy physically. I know I'm healthy physically. I'm getting there. But I am not mentally healthy. I'm not in a mentally healthy place where I could go do something like work at Disney for 5 months. And I hate myself right now that I'm not that person, that I'm not mentally well enough to go do this. So I don't, they're like so mad. One of my cousins suggested I get a second job, which you cannot do. And I did not have a car, so where was I supposed to work? And I was working crazy hours anyway, so it's just like, and then my aunt who picked me up, the same aunt who picked me down, when my cousin left the table when we were at breakfast, she looked over at me and said, "Nobody's disappointed in you, we just expected you to stay longer." And in my head, I'm going, you just told me you're not disappointed in me. You're not upset with me, but you wish I had stayed longer. You knew I had these issues. And it was like, it's hard. And I regret it so much. And I actually told my dad that I kind of want to try DCP again. I want to take time to get mentally healthy, to be in a better place, and then apply and see what happens. If I get accepted, maybe go ahead and say, yeah, I need these accommodations. I have to work at Animal Kingdom, or I have to be a resort. I can't work at Hollywood Studios. I can't work at Magic Kingdom, and I can't work at Epcot because they're fireworks parks. I need to work someplace that's a little bit calmer, a little bit quieter. And like I said, I hate myself because I did have such an amazing time while I was there. Well, somewhat. I mean, Friday, the first week I was down there, today I was supposed to go to traditions. I actually ended up in the ER because I was having gastrointestinal issues, and turned out I was dehydrated because I was not eating or drinking. So there was that. There's also the fact, I think that was slightly colored by the fact that the aunt who did take me down, she only took me down because my parents paid her. I love this aunt. This aunt and I were really close, but I think, and I want to say we're still close, but I also think that closeness has kind of gone away over the years. Her friend, who she and her kids called Nana, she was going back home to Florida, so that was the whole reason she was going down to Florida anyway. And so that is why they drove me down to Florida. And also, they had promised that that Sunday, the 24th, we were going to do something fun. We talked about going to Disney Springs, but when we got to a hotel, which was actually closer to Universal Studio, my aunt's like, oh, we'll go to City Walk instead, because I was not planning on going to Universal while I was down there. And so she thought, we'll just go to City Walk. It'll be a blast. And instead of going to City Walk on the 24th, on April 24th, I wound up at a timeshare presentation with my aunt and her friend. So my aunt could get her $10 room deposit back, $100, and a free 3-day, 2-night stay in the future. And then to reward me, to say thank you for being so good and doing this, they took me to Epic McDonald's. And then we went to Walmart. And by the time we got done at Walmart, it was 6:30 and I had check-in the next day. So I literally didn't get to do anything fun before check-in. So yeah, that was really, that kind of, I think, colored the whole start of it. But my roommates were great. I loved the apartment. Even though I was in a 2x2, I thought the apartment was great. I loved the building. I loved the way FCB was set up. It was so nice. It was so much fun. There was a Target within walking distance. There was a Five Below within walking distance. The busing system was great. I was able to get to, like I said, all 4 parks using the bus system. Although I only used the buses to get to the parks. The only part I did not take a bus to was I did not take the bus to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, because I actually went for Hollywood Studios. I got dropped off at the Riviera and I skylined over. And then for Epcot, I got dropped off at one of the Epcot hotels and I walked over. I think I got dropped off at the Yacht and Beach Club and I walked over to Epcot and then used the Skyliner to go to Hollywood Studios. But it ended up being fun for what it was. Like I said, I wish I had been in a better place mentally. I was more mentally healthy, because I feel like if I was, I would have stayed. I would have taken them up and said, yes, move me to Animal Kingdom, move me to a resort. But other than that, it was a really nice experience. And like I said, I am seriously thinking about applying to DCP again. I will say that all this did was, I thought this would cure me of ever wanting to go to Disney again. Like I said, I went to all 4 parks while I was there. I had a blast while I was there. I will say that for Magic Kingdom is the loudest park for someone like me. I actually took headphones with me and I used them twice. I will also say that there are some rides I will never go on again. Astro Orbiter, I will never go on again. That ride freaked me out. I will never go on. I went on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's a cute ride, but again, it was way too loud for me. And I went on Journey in the Imagination with Figment, and as much as I love Figment, I will never do that ride again. But there are a lot of rides that I loved. I did Rise of the Resistance twice, and I wish I had done it a 3rd time. I did Star Tours 4 times. I did Smuggler's Run once. Alien Swirling Saucers is a fun ride, but it was not worth the long wait. I did Na'vi River Journey. Again, great, nice ride. Not worth an 80-minute wait. Kilimanjaro Safaris, totally worth it. I did Ariel. I did the Carousel. I did Teacups, which, funny enough, Teacups is the one Magic Kingdom ride I had been wanting to do since I was a kid, and I got to do it, so it was awesome. I did Buzz, which was fun. I wish I'd done People Mover instead of Astro Orbiter. I didn't, because I thought the line was too long. I did the Carousel Progress. I did Haunted Mansion. I got to do Haunted Mansion twice, actually, because Magic Kingdom day after I did Magic Kingdom, I had a class and I had to go early in the morning, and we rode Haunted Mansion as part of our class because it was a tour of Magic Kingdom, which was fun. So it was really interesting, but this was supposed to be not about it's supposed to be about why I self-term. I really do miss it. I miss Disney World. I actually miss my roommates. I miss going to work at Disney every day. I'm happy I'm home. I know I needed to come home for my mental health, but I really do miss it. And this is my name tag. This is my Disney name tag. You can't see it very well. There it is. This is my Disney name tag. And looking at this just makes me want to go back, even if it's just to visit. But I'm home now, and I'm going to get myself in a better place mentally. I already have had a job offer. I have another interview this week. My dad and I are going to Star Wars Night at the Great Lakes Loom, so it was awesome. I know I'm sad, and I'm trying so hard not to break down and cry at the thought that I gave this opportunity up, and I had to, because if I didn't, I knew my mental health would only suffer in the end, and that would affect my performance, and I didn't want to do anything to hurt um, the guests or Disney, because I wanted to make magic so much, but it was just hard. It's just hard to accept that I'm not mentally where I need to be to work at Disney. I mean, I've already announced I'm trying to save up money to go back. I want to go stay on the Star Cruiser because Studios was my favorite park, but I just want to go back, to work, to visit. I would love to go back for my birthday in February, but one of the reasons I did DCP was literally the only way I could get to Disney World. So I don't know. All I know is that if people out there are thinking about doing DCP and they're eligible for it, I highly recommend it. Just make sure you are mentally prepared for the stress that will come with it. Like I said, you're working at Walt Disney World. It is fast paced, it is high stress, but it can be so worth it. Unfortunately for me, because of my anxiety coupled with the hearing disorder, I just wasn't mentally prepared, and I could have been if I had just admitted that, yeah, I need accommodations, but because I don't have the proof, I never said anything. So like I said, me self-terming from Disney, it was my own fault. It was nothing Disney did. I loved DCP the short time I was there, and I would love to do it again when I am better and I'm healthier. And not just mentally healthy. I gotta kick this. For those of you who don't know and don't follow me on Instagram, I actually came home with COVID. I'm almost kicking it. I'm almost done with COVID. I should be all cleared by Thursday, which is great because, like I said, I'm going to a baseball game with my dad on Saturday. So yeah, I think that was part of the reason why I'm glad to be home. I know I need to come home. So I was starting to get sick. So it is what it is. It majorly sucks that I'm back home instead of at Disney right now, but who knows? Maybe for my birthday I will get down to Disney to visit. Maybe I'll be doing DCP again. I don't know. All I know is that I am bound and determined to go back to Disney World, to go down there and either stay at the Star Cruiser or stay and do all the stuff I wasn't able to do that I wanted to do. So that is my determination at this point. So if you want to do DCP, I can't recommend it enough. Do it. You will have a blast. It will be awesome. Just if they offer you help, take the help. Make sure you're clear up front that if you have any issues, you might need some help. They try to do everything they can to help their cast members. So I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 more videos talking about my time at Disney. I'm doing a haul video, and I want to talk about my experiences when I went to the parks and Disney Springs and stuff like that with some tips that I came up with, but that might actually be one video, and I don't know if that's going to be this week or next week, but I will be doing at least 1 more video about Disney, and it will be a haul video because I did get a lot of stuff while I was there. I don't want to know how much money I spent in the 1 month I was at Disney. It was a lot. So thank you everyone for your support. Thank you for all your well wishes. I am sad I am home, but I am happy at the same time because I know this is what I needed for myself to make myself happy and healthy. So even though it sucks and I miss Disney like crazy. So I will end the video here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'm sending you all lots of love, hugs, and prayers. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and I will talk to everybody later. Bye.